If my privilege to choose whom I fall in love with or marry was taken away from me, I would be devastated. If people thought of me as being different because of my personal decision to feel the way I do about someone, I would certainly not like it. In fact, I would probably not even be able to stand it and literally tear my hair out. Your sexuality is a part of who you are as a person, as a human being. It's one of the ways you choose to express yourself. No one should be able to tell you who to be or what to believe or how to think. René Descartes once said, "I think, therefore I am." We were given a mind for a reason, to shape our lives and help us make crucial life choices. No one can tell you your innermost thoughts and most pure feelings of love are wrong in any way. They are precious. They belong to you and can be taken away by no one. We may look and act different, but on the inside, we are all the same. Love has no ends. Cliched, I know, but it is important to see all human beings, men or women, as the beautiful natured individuals they really are. What's on the outside really isn't all that important. If you love someone of the same or the opposite sex, be sure that you love them because they bring out the best in you and because they give you a reason to wake up in the morning. Don't love because a social stigma is forcing you to act a certain way. At the end of the day, it's how happy you are able to make someone, and how good of a person you make each other. Life's too short to merely live for those who only want to bring you down.
When I think of privilege, I think of my car, attending this university, and of course my electronics. Then I thought deeper into what a privilege is, and I came up with my origin. For me, being Ukrainian gives me privilege in many different ways. I was blessed to grow up in a home with 2 languages and learn about 2 different cultures. If someone would take this away from me, I would feel like I'm losing a piece of me as well as feeling less unique. Every day, I cherish that I'm able to speak fluently in Russian. Just last week, I was in a restaurant and overheard some Russians talking about going out. To their surprise, I butted in and asked, "Где ты идешь?" which means, "Where are you going?" in Russian. And now we're all friends. This is why I'm grateful for the privilege of being bilingual, spasibo, which means thank you in Russian.
At the age of 10, I was a flower girl at my aunt's wedding in Massachusetts. This statement alone makes it seem like a pretty conventional event, but the difference in this situation is that my aunt was marrying another woman. In May of 2004, Massachusetts became the first U.S. state to legalize gay marriage, and my aunt and her partner were one of the first couples to take advantage of that right. Looking back, I remember how amazing it was to see 2 people finally be able to embrace their love for each other instead of feeling like they had to hide it. Being able to witness such a pure declaration of happiness and adoration is something that I will cherish until the end of my days. If for some reason I was not allowed to participate in the wedding and that right was taken away from me, I would feel slighted from a cultural standpoint. Apart from the fact that I'm supportive of my family and all their endeavors, that whole experience was a historic moment. I was lucky enough to be a part of one of the first legal same-sex weddings, which sparked another 36 states to legalize gay marriage in the past 10 years. That growth of acceptance is inspiring to me, and if I wasn't involved because I didn't have that right, I would feel like the subject of an unjust system.
America was built on the firm foundation of 3 core rights: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I would be utterly devastated if any one of the rights or privileges I cherished was taken away, but in particular, the right to an education. Education is the foundation of all human rights because it facilitates the acknowledgement and understanding of who we are as a people, what our rights are, and our ability to effectively communicate and share those ideas with others. Access to an education is one of the most important rights that we can have, as it leads to a more fulfilled life, reduction in poverty, and the creation of opportunities for growth and sustainability.
I would be truly upset if I no longer had the right to freedom of religion. Religion should be a choice selected by the individual, not by the government. When I was a child, I used to go to church every Sunday with my family. What I remember most about the experience was the wholesome feeling I would have every time I left. I felt empowered and hopeful for the week ahead. When I went to college, I was no longer able to attend church on a regular basis and ultimately lost touch with my faith. I understand that every individual has his or her own level of faith. However, this faith must be discovered and not dictated by the law. I have always found the Establishment Clause to be very powerful, which states, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Thus, the Free Exercise Clause places a limitation upon Congress, preventing it from passing legislation on religion. I believe that is what makes our country unique.
I am a white American, so yes, I am privileged. I can't even imagine what it would be like to live in a country where I didn't have access to all of my privileges. As a white American, I have been given privileges that people in other countries or of other races may not be able to partake in. Through my privileges, I plan to make the world a better place than I left it. And hopefully, something that I do will be able to extend the privileges of others. So, take away one of my privileges, and you're robbing the lives of others. Because one step back in the rights of one is 1,000 steps back in the lives of others.
Are you in a play? Where do you work? Do you make all of your own clothes? These are just some of the questions that I've been asked while wearing my favorite clothing from Japanese fashion subculture. Many people see me and ask questions before making their own judgments. I'm privileged to live in a country where government officials have never told me that I could be raped for not conforming to what other women are wearing. Police have never threatened to take me to jail for the color of my hair or how many bows I had in it that day. People here are not permitted to commit violent acts against me just because I look different. But there are other U.S. citizens who aren't allowed to be themselves. Their legal rights are denied every day. We ostracize them for being themselves. Here's to them, and I hope that one day they can enjoy the same freedoms that I do.
The privilege I would hate to give up is my right to vote. I know that it's been only a few years since I turned 18 and was able to vote, but I feel strongly about having that privilege and to have my vote count. In my first election, I was able to vote for a U.S. president, a senator, a member of the House of Representatives, and a mayor. In 1870, the 15th Amendment gave the right to vote to citizens of all races and color, but not women. It wasn't until 50 years later that women got to vote. Women have only been allowed to vote since the 19th Amendment was passed in 1920, and it was a tough fight. It's a privilege that I really appreciate having and don't ever want to give up. As I close, I leave you with this famous quote by President Dwight D. Eisenhower. "The future of the Republic is in the hands of the American voter."
What if we woke up one day and we were unable to be happy? If the right to be happy, yes, I said the right to be happy, was taken away from us. In the Declaration of Independence, it stated that we have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Our right as Americans is to pursue happiness. In some countries, at the ripe age of 12, children are sent to wars. In some countries, children cannot be educated just because of their gender. In some countries, children are looked at as one thing, a cheap workforce. One of these boys or girls may have the mind of a brilliant physicist, but they'll never be educated to see how much potential they have, unable to pursue their dreams, their happiness. In Swaziland, a sovereign state in southern Africa, the average life expectancy is 30 to 35 years old. It is literally our right to pursue happiness. We take our right to pursue happiness for granted every single day.
This privilege exercise is real to me. I don't have to make one up. I am a privileged white male. I was blessed into an upper middle class family, but I've had another privilege taken away from me all my life. I never asked for it or wanted it taken. This is the privilege of being able to live my life without having to worry about losing my job, or even wonder if I'll ever be able to marry the someone I love. I know I may not experience the same hardships that minorities face, but I know their struggle of trying to hide their true selves from the public eye. The struggle to live and be someone they're not. Being an openly gay male, I could be fired for breathing these words in a business setting, but it's not my duty to constantly remind these people that I like guys. I should be able to live in a society where I don't have to worry about being denied marriage or being fired. This goes for minorities too. We should all have equal rights, no matter who we love or the color of our skin.